So, okay, my first little timeline. So, the way it works is with a divergent timeline is you go back in time, that automatically creates an alternate reality that splits off from the original timeline,
Mhm.
and you move on from there. So, typically, though, if that's how you're working, if you move forward in time from the point that you traveled back in time from, you're moving forward to the alternate reality's future. There's
Mhm.
some of this in Back to the Future. It's all it's basically also how Homer Simpson and the time traveling toaster work. He can basically never go back to his original
Mhm.
timeline
Mhm.
because every time he does, it's a divergent timeline. And
You're still not in your own world, Homer. I can get you home, but you have to do exactly as I.
This is indeed a disturbing universe.
he finally settles for coming back to a present where all of his family have like lizard tongues. And he says, "Well, that's close enough," and so he stays there. So to get around this, they had Tony Stark invent that some random time travel GPS thing, so
Yeah.
that the time travel machine that they had in the present time is able to basically call out to anywhere throughout time and space, locate those little trackers, and pull those people back not only to their time but to their reality as well,
Mhm.
back to their own timeline.
Yeah.
And so that's how they kind of got around that.
Yeah.
So like here, it doesn't matter. And the other thing was, it doesn't matter how long that they're gone. Whenever they hit their little return activator on their wristband, however long it's been, it's going to pull them back to the moment that
Mhm.
that they get sucked back
Yeah.
from the machine or whatever. Basically, with the three different teams, there was three, probably I guess four different timelines that were created because Captain America and Tony Stark make a second jump back to, what was it, the 70s, when they go to the Shield
Oh yeah,
headquarters.
the 70s. Yeah. Yeah. I did like that. I liked Tony seeing his father there. That was really great touch for his character progression too.
For a second, when you see Howard Stark see him there,
Mhm.
you think it could be like he doesn't trust him and like, hey, I don't recognize you, get security
Yeah.
or whatever. But I like that they didn't go that route, that he just was like, thought of he was just some like intern guy or something,
Yeah.
and he was just chatting with him or whatever.
Yeah. They needed their moment. Yeah.
Uh okay, so with Captain America though, so the assumption has to be that their machine that can send them can also kind of reverse the GPS effect and can send Cap to all the different realities and different timelines.
Mhm.
And that eventually, when he got rid of all the stones, he stayed in whichever one he was in.
Mhm.
And so then Hulk says, "Okay, we're gonna wait 5 seconds. For him, it's gonna be as long as he needs to return all the stones, but for us, it's gonna be 5 seconds, and we're gonna
Mhm.
pull him back here."
Yeah.
So the easy way to fix the problem with the fact that Captain America couldn't be in their timeline would be when they pull him back after 5 seconds, you have him reappear on that platform,
Mhm.
and maybe you do like a shot from the side or behind, like an obscure shot where you can't really tell, if it's really him or what's going on.
Yeah.
And then the camera pans over and you see like gray hair instead of blonde hair.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden you realize, oh, he's like 90-year-old Captain. So
Yeah.
basically, he would have lived his life out in that alternate reality. And then after Peggy Carter dies or whatever, he decides, oh, you know what? I want to go back and see my friends from my original timeline. I missed them. And he still has the Ant-Man suit and the device to go back, and he hits the return button
Mhm.
and it pulls him back to that moment. Doesn't matter where he is on the timeline.
Mhm.
And so that would fix that loophole that they created,
Yeah.
at
That's
least.
a that's a good point when it's such a small little touch about having him return to the literal place he was supposed to return, not like over there on a bench. Now I know why they did that, because they wanted they're hell bent on getting Falcon. You have the shield now. And they wanted to have
Well,
Sam Wilson step away.
you still could
So
have had that. I mean, you just have him come back with the shield or whatever.
well, yeah, but then like have them step away. I don't know. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I think that's one of the problems. So just such a little thing, not having him come back on a bench, but having him come back where people expect him to, would have made things that much simpler for people to understand. But
And I think they probably just brushed it off because like people aren't going to dissect it that hard. But us
yeah,
nerds can't let stuff like that go.
yeah. Why would they think that? Even if enough people could explain it to where finally it did make sense, the fact that the movie didn't do that explaining in itself makes it a storytelling issue for me. Does that make sense?
Mm. Yeah. I guess they could have explained it a little more. It just kind of mostly made sense to me. And maybe it has to do with the fact that I've like dissected time travel movies before. Like I did a whole video back in the day of how I thought Flash season 1 should have ended
Oh, cool. I have to look that up.
with time travel, and
Yeah.
I dissected how I thought they constructed time travel and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And so maybe I'm inserting too much of my own logic into it or something, but I don't know, it didn't bother me as much as a lot of people.
Well, no, it's fascinating. I think from a storytelling perspective, I think about, okay, this is something new. This is something that doesn't really exist. This idea of time travel, at least as far as we know now, so they have to create, their set of rules behind it and all of that. And they have to, that's the storyteller's job then to tell the audience, what the rules are of this new thing that they're introducing. But one of the Star Wars creators, I'm fond of quoting, and I can't remember his name, but said that when you've got a premise like this, when you've got a science fiction sort of setting, and you're introducing a new premise like that, you can only ask people to believe one new thing per story. So I think that's really where the problems enter when you've got this new idea of time travel, and it's going to be a different idea of time travel than what we've seen in a lot of the other popular movies. That's okay. Explain that, but then stop introducing these new little angles to it. And then, and one more thing. Now when a person leaves too, that's also a divergent timeline. And now we can go in the past and get anything we might have lost and bring it back, and that doesn't hurt the past timeline. It was just one thing on top of the other that gets it to be too precarious, I think, from a storytelling perspective.
Well, maybe, I don't know, do you think they should have just had a bigger exposition dump to explain it all at once, instead of, it seems like they tried to spread out the explanation
Yeah, to be honest,
throughout the film, and I don't know, maybe that made it a little muddy.
I really think that a lot of people might not agree with me, but I really think this film would have worked better had it been a two-parter. I know people don't want to hear that because they had to wait so long between Infinity War and this one, but I just think that it tried to cram way too much into one 3-hour film for a good story, character developments, and all that stuff, and expositions and all of that. I think it could have used a two-parter.
Yeah, maybe.